Hello, world. Welcome to Onside Takes. I'm your host, Kaiden. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tim
Yo.
and Caleb.
What's up?
This week had some electric games that set some very cool records. As for our teams, though, first up, the Vikings. They take down the Falcons as Sam Darnold continues to throw bombs downfield, saying on repeat, they're down there somewhere. The Jets continue to surprise Kaiden and somehow throw an 80% chance to win the game with 1 minute left. And the Ravens sit on their asses this week and try to recover as much as possible for the division title. First up, the Vikings.
All right, people. Once again, we're back with another W. It's 6-game win streak. I mean, it's insane. First off, this week we have to talk about Sam Darnold again, just like last week, because I called it. Last week I said Sam Darnold's the guy. I even called him, and he was that this week. I mean, he had an insane performance with 5 passing touchdowns. That's the first time that a Vikings quarterback has done that since Dante Culpepper in 2004. So 20 years ago.
Dante Culpepper.
Oh, Tim.
I have never heard that name in my life.
You don't know about the legend? Vikings legend?
Vikings legend Dante Culpepper.
Dude,
Come
I gotta watch that Secret Base 12-hour Vikings Vikings documentary.
He was one of our good quarterbacks in the 2000s. Well, that's all you need to know.
Okay.
But 20 years since 5 passing touchdowns in a game. He looked confident, just ripping the deep balls all game. Honestly, the offense looked good, but they didn't look great in the first half. And he just said, "I got this, guys. Don't worry. We don't need to march on the field. I will throw the entire field in one pass." Like the intro said, he pretty much was just like, "Screw it. JJ or Addison, they're down there somewhere. They're down there somewhere. Just throw it. They'll find the ball. They'll track it." And they did that. He was 22 for 28, 347 yards, and 5 touchdowns, like I said, with a chance at 6 touchdowns. But Aaron Jones had a great run, ran it in. He had a chance for 6 passing on the day, though. That's insane. Moving on from Sam. The offense. Great week. So that's 42 points. That's a great week. They looked decent in the first half, but like I said before, they weren't moving the ball like crazy. And then all of a sudden, Sam would just throw it for 50 yards. They scored twice in the first half, I believe. Let me check to make sure. Yeah, they scored once in the first quarter, once in the second quarter. One to Addison, one to Jefferson. And both of them were just long, deep balls that he saved us with those, honestly. If Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison play that way all year, I don't doubt a single game going forward. I mean, if they're that open downfield, which obviously maybe the Falcons defense, maybe they're bad. But if we can exploit even one of those a game, that's a huge play that blows a game open. And then on top of that, with Addison really catching fire, because he had been underutilized most of the season to most Vikings fans, with him getting so many more passes, yards are up, touchdowns up, especially in the last 3 weeks. That still leaves TJ Hawkinson just ready to release as soon as needed. If those two are not open, they're going to leave our tight end open. I mean, the Vikings offense kind of feels like the Lions offense right now a little bit. Not quite as good because the Lions have 2 insane running backs, but the passing game I think is on par at least.
Who was the guy that was there at the end of that game for the post-game interview and was like, "I'm tired about hearing the Lions all the time"?
That was Byron. That was Byron Murphy. That was Byron Murphy. That was the guy that made the slick interception.
Gotcha.
The Vikings, for the first time ever, had 2 wide receivers with over 100 yards receiving each, which is kind of surprising given their wide receiver.
That's the first time ever? in
Yeah,
Vikings
2 wide
history.
receivers in the same game.
Oh, okay. Well,
and
that's still surprising, honestly.
It is, because they had Chris Carter and Randy Moss at one point.
Yes.
I mean, those are 2 pretty big names, if I don't say so myself. So that's pretty insane. But I really don't have any. I don't know how I could have any complaints from the offense. Did they only score 14 points in the first half? Yeah, but that's not a bad half. Did they score 21 points in the fourth quarter? Yeah, that was a freaking amazing to watch. So no complaints. Just overall, so happy about it. The defense, not quite as confident in the defense. I have some stats this week that like they prove that we're like good, but not good at the same time on the defense. So right now we're ranked 17th in yards allowed per game, which that's not great. That's below half of the league. But we're number 1 in defensive efficiency and number 2 in expected points added, which I'm not 100% sure what that means.
Those
But
are
we're
made
number
up
2.
stats.
But we're number 2. But we allow.
I need you to tell me what expected points added means. Now,
You-
don't Google it.
You're gonna get expected points that they're gonna get. That's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know.
I need a fact check. Jamie, fact check that.
Can you pull that
but,
shit up? I'm on it, boss. Expected points added is commonly used in advanced statistic in football.
Oh, EPA.
In short, this stat measures how well a team performs compared to their expectation on a play-by-play basis. So that means the Vikings are playing exactly as expected.
Let's go.
Boring.
That's exactly what I meant. I knew where I was going with that. But they're averaging on the season 337 yards given up, which is that's still a decent amount of yards. That's not great defense. Over the last 3 games, the Vikings opponents have averaged 433 yards, which that's way worse. So we're giving up a lot of yards in the pass game. We back up into these zones, which is great because like we do a lot of blitzing, but because we're blitzing, we can't play man as much. And then they back up into these zones, and you can dice up a zone if you're a good quarterback. Sometimes it's frustrating to watch, but obviously they have an overall successful defense, even if they know that they have weaknesses. Somehow we're still only allowing 18.5 points per game, which is 6th in the NFL. But we are 2nd in takeaways as well. So what we give up, even if we give up a bunch of yards, those takeaways kind of bring us back to that better defense, I guess. Yeah, like I said, we excel in certain things and not in others, and I just get scared about the playoffs when we play good teams with good passing games and good quarterbacks, because they're not going to be Kirk Cousins, throwing interceptions left and right. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like, because the Lions diced us up last time we played them, and we still almost won the game, but I'm a little bit scared about that going forward.
Almost by a first down, right, Caleb?
By a first down, we would have won. We got that first down. I'll die on that hill.
You die on that hill every week.
Yeah, every single week, actually. Yes. We played good enough to let the offense go crazy. We had 2 interceptions. Kirk, he threw one of the worst interceptions of the season, I think, in the first half. He had so much time in the pocket, but nobody was open, that he just said, this guy can catch this, and just threw it at our linebacker Josh Metellus, and he just easy interception right at him. He didn't even move. It was awful. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but Byron Murphy.
It's not his fault. He saw purple. He had a flashback, and he just let it fly, bro.
He played at US Bank. He's like, this is home. Gotta throw it to the purple. Purple and gold. And then in the second half, did you guys see the interception in the end zone?
I did. That's the only one I saw. I didn't see the first one.
He had a slick, just stuck his right hand out and just he just grabbed it so effortlessly, and he didn't run it out.
A lot of controversy about that one.
Which,
A lot
in what
a lot
regards?
of people are saying that's a safety.
That's crazy. There's literally a rule in place to make that not a safety.
What's the rule then, Caleb? I want to hear you say it.
The rule is that defensive players that catch interceptions right before the goal line, so they don't get an automatic safety, because that's really stupid to get an interception but then give them a safety. If the momentum brings them back into the end zone, it's a touchback. However, if their momentum, so right in that situation, his momentum actually brought him back towards the end zone, but you only get 2 steps of your momentum. And on his second step, he was at the 1 yard line, which is where they spotted the ball, actually, because that's where they down it on your second step before you hit the end zone. Because otherwise he gets the advantage of like kneeling it and going to the 25 yard line or whatever it is.
Yep.
So that's that rule for those that didn't know. It's a good rule. Should stay like that. Vikings haters.
No, I think that was ruled correctly as well.
And then the one other thing with the defense is, did you guys see the white chick celebration?
I saw it. I mean, after the game, I got it. I certainly didn't get it during the game.
It was great.
Not cultured like that.
They're kind of goated with the sauce on these celebrations. It's like every week is a new fun celebration. The Vikings, they're good at things on the field and kind of off the field. I mean, what can't they do? Just a couple names.
I'm just gonna hold my tongue.
Actually,
that shit
one thing, but I can't hate. I'm not gonna hate just yet.
A couple names for
Tim. What do you mean not yet? This guy obliterates you in the Ravens. This is your time to lash out.
We're going to Super Bowl.
Shit. Vikings fans can never answer to that. We have no response. It's just yeah. You're right. I can't say anything to that. We haven't won yet.
No, what you say to that is, how many Super Bowl appearances does Lamar Jackson have?
How many Super Bowl appearances? The Ravens. I'm talking about teams here. Don't change the subject.
Yeah,
logical fallacy.
The Ravens have a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Like, you can't say anything.
We've been to the Super Bowl in the last 20 years
and won. So yeah, a couple names for the defense. Got some young guys that are starting to play, and that's really good because our defense kind of old a little bit. I talked about last week that the Jalen Redmond got a game ball and he like made some really good plays, and Coach O'Connell was like, "Wow, I didn't know who this guy was before this week." He got the start this week actually. Pat Jones was out, so he had 4 solo tackles, a couple tackles for loss, and 2 bad down passes. Which bad down passes those are really good. Fabian Moreau had 5 tackles as well. He's the replacement for Stephon Gilmore, and Dallas Turner had 3 tackles. So it's great to see the young guys doing something. But moving on to some overall thoughts going into next week. This game made all Vikings fans happy. Like, I don't think there's anything about it that you could take away that be like, this, I can't believe they're like this. They're still bothering me. It's just like, this is a happy week overall. Overjoyed. This game proved to the rest of the league, sports talk guys, fans, we are for real. I said it. I've said it. I have to say it every freaking week, because then I go and see all these things, and it's like, oh, the Vikings they got a good record, but no, we're for real. We just the Falcons were the NFC South leader, not anymore, but we beat them down. Like, it wasn't close. So good teams beat bad teams, and good teams beat decent teams. So
quick point on that. So I don't understand.
Okay.
Like, some of the logic I've been hearing from some Vikings fans online and in this call, like, postseason, are you guys not wanting to stick with Darnold? If he does a deep run with the Vikings, I don't see how you guys let him go.
If.
So I was going to talk about this, but I'll just get to it right now. Here's my stance on this. The big sports media, and that includes Onside Takes in the big sports media world, of course.
Massive.
We
what else is massive?
need stuff to talk about with our teams and what's going on in the league. Sam Darnold playing really well, only on a 1-year contract. That's a great talking point. You know what we don't care about right now? We don't care about next year, actually, because we're 11-2 this year, and we are basically guaranteed the playoffs, potentially winning the division. Very much potentially. Lot's got to happen before that. How about we just go to the playoffs and actually win a playoff game? Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe further. Let's do that. And once we're done with that, then we can say, wow, Sam Darnold actually took us to... We won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. You know what? We should probably sign this guy. Yeah, I freaking think so. Yeah, we should sign the guy that won us a Super Bowl.
I genuinely think even if he wins the Super Bowl and lost, I would not sign him again. It's going to be too... It doesn't make sense for the building. I think even if he wins the conference, it would be amazing. But I think it makes more sense to not sign him next year.
I don't.
I agree that right now it doesn't, like, we don't know how this year is going to end. So right now, I don't see it making sense to sign him because I don't know the outcome of the season and how far he takes us. He is getting better every week, which that's like, we don't even know his full, he hasn't even reached his full power yet. So, I mean,
Sam Darnold is a great quarterback if he has a pocket and receivers that can get open. And that's exactly what the Vikings have been doing.
Kevin O'Connell and JJ.
I agree, but we did just draft a quarterback that we fully believe in as well.
Who fucking cares if this guy does good for the team?
But that's what I'm saying is it's not about the regular season. He has done so good.
The team is bigger than Sam Darnold. The team is bigger than Sam Darnold.
Okay.
And he'd be too expensive.
He's playing well in the position he needs.
Too expensive.
Okay, so do you see that about the Ravens with Lamar Jackson?
The Ravens are not bigger than Lamar Jackson.
No effect on the Ravens. That's what you're saying.
The Ravens are not bigger than Lamar Jackson. I love our guys, but they're not bigger than Lamar Jackson. It's different.
Okay.
Yeah, if Sam Darnold takes us, I think NFC Championship and Super Bowl, we need to re-sign him. Because he's proven that he can take us there. And that's all I need. You know, JJ can sit for 3-4 years. Is what it is, if that's the case. But it all depends on where he brings us and what he wants, money and deal-wise. Because I don't know if we want to do a super long deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would be willing to give him money for like a 1 or 2 year deal because we're like, we like you a lot, we want to keep you, but we don't know about the future. But I don't think he's gonna like that because he wants the future now that he's proven himself. So I don't know what it's gonna take. I think that these discussions are great for entertainment value, but why are we talking about it in week 15 of the NFL season when the playoffs are looming?
I've been talking about it since week 7. Okay.
I understand it. We need to see the final outcome. Because if he plays like an absolute dog shit and we lose in the first round, it's not a hard decision. We're moving on. It's not hard. It literally depends on, is he clutch and do we win playoff games? Because we haven't won playoff games since 2017, literally. So it just depends on in the playoffs. Obviously, he can win in the regular season. Obviously, it's a good system. It depends. That's all I could say. And I'm like, the conversation is great. I'm glad people are talking about the Vikings. It's just it's not what I want them to talk about. I want to talk about how good the Vikings are, not should they sign Sam Darnold again.
That's true.
But yeah, that's my stance on. I was going to get to that. I was just going to say, it's not the time. It's not the time. Back to yeah. So I had a little something about Kirk Cousins. He's the 2 bad interceptions, and he has the most interceptions in the league for quarterbacks this year. Great stat. Great stat for him. I'd like to say that the Kirk Cousins leaving the Vikings is like when you break up with an ex that like did you dirty, and you see them struggling without you, and you're thriving, and you're just like, this is great. This is great. It's just like, this is awesome. We're 11-2. He's barely trying to win the worst division in the NFC. It's great. It's awesome.
He's the reason why you guys are so defensive this year about being a fraud team because of what year was it? 2022.
Yeah, 2022. The year that I said we weren't frauds, and then we lost to the freaking Giants in the playoffs because Kirk Cousins couldn't perform. So you know what?
Couldn't get it up. Not when it
maybe
mattered
he's
most.
he's not that guy. He's not that guy. Maybe
The
Sam is.
rumor mill
I don't
has
know.
Penix starting in
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yeah, that
So
is.
be on the lookout for that.
That'd be insane. I'm not gonna lie, based on the contract, but yeah, Bears up on next on Monday night should be an easy game. I mean, I don't like calling games easy, but they looked freaking lifeless
Division games are
against
never
the 49ers.
easy, buddy.
He said, I mean, we say that, but like they scored. It was like 40. The Bears had like 43 yards to the Niners like 300.
Yeah, they're not playing the Niners though. They're playing the goddamn dreaded Vikings that they hate.
Yeah, the dreaded Vikings. Yeah, I would dread us too. We're freaking whooping ass. I think it'll be actually at.
Pretty sure it's at Chicago.
Yeah, it's at Chicago. It's gonna be a cold one. So actually, shit, maybe.
Them Vikings are built tough. Don't worry.
Well, maybe not anymore. We got that dome. We already had the dome.
Vikings got that dome.
But no matter what, a lot to be excited about. Vikings fans, great week. So excited moving forward. We're thinking playoffs now. What's it gonna be? What's our seed gonna look like? But that's all I got. Skull.
All right, let's get over to the Jets. Nothing too crazy. Pretty much expected at this point. We did lose to them Finns in a classic fashion, continuing the streak of not winning a game at Miami since 2015, I think. So that's been really awesome. I would have wanted just to win it in that fucking streak, but we didn't. So I'm not gonna cry too much, as the loss does ultimately help us. We're out of playoffs, so might as well, get as many losses as you got dang can. Get your draft pick up. We're currently 7th at the top of the 3 and 10s. So pretty interesting. Our draft stock is not high enough to get any of the 2 good quarterbacks this year.
And do you know the website Tankathon?
Yeah.
What? I don't. What is this?
You should be checking that weekly. It's literally just NFL Tankathon, and it just shows you what your draft pick is. It's great.
Yeah.
Because a ton of the teams have the same exact record, so it's hard to decide. But
exactly.
It lays it out. It's like the playoffs for the shit teams.
Oh, okay. Raiders on top right now.
Yeah, they have the lowest. They're taking Colorado.
We'll get to that later, though. It might be in the double flub.
Yep. Moving on. We'll actually just talk about the game just a little bit. So, as soon as overtime hit, I knew it was over at the coin toss. Our D was just not performing that game. It was really bad. So as soon as the Dolphins got the ball, I knew it was a little cooked. I can't remember his name. I kind of want to find it to give him justice. Let me look for 10 seconds. Sub 10 seconds. I'm really fast. It was a player on the Dolphins who had no receiving yards during the game. Maybe. I can't remember.
Just throwing a name out there that I heard this week. I'm probably way off.
He had no receiving yards at all during the regular game and had 3 in the game-winning touchdown in overtime, which was pretty insane to let happen. But good for him. Good for him. Moving on. Rodgers had
I was close. It's Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. He had nothing the whole game and then 3 in the winner in overtime, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Rodgers has his best game as a Jet. 339 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 0 wins. Very good. Nothing to complain about for Rodgers this week. He was actually pretty mobile. We'll talk about this further, but he looked good this week. Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams both had over 100 receiving yards, so I guess we're just breaking records like the Vikings,
Oh, yeah.
Garrett Wilson caught 4 for 6 for 97 yards, specifically against Jalen Ramsey, which is the cornerback for the Dolphins, as the nearest defender, which is Ramsey's no joke. This is the most receiving yards allowed by Ramsey as the nearest defender since 2017 per Rich Samini. So you can look at it either two ways, as Garrett Wilson either being the GOAT or Ramsey's is falling off, and the Dolphins fans were wanting his fucking head on Twitter during the game. So I'm guessing it's Ramsey falling off. Devontae Adams had one major questionable play, I feel. So he receives the ball at, like, let's say 106, and he gets pushed out of bounds, and it's the 1 minute mark. If he fights to stay in bounds and goes down in bounds, Miami has no timeouts left. We go down to the freaking 20 seconds. We call it timeout, and then they have 20 seconds to get a field goal. How does that happen? Why are we going out of bounds and not just going down in bounds so the game is winning? Not too mad about it.
Maybe he wants to lose. Maybe he knows you want to lose. They just don't want to look like they're like, because the NFL probably would find the shit out of them if they lost on purpose.
There's like so much, like Aaron Rodgers, he had an overall good game, but there was at least 3 or 4 passes. If he threw an actual go ball ahead of Garrett Wilson, he's getting a touchdown 100 times out of 100 times, but he's throwing the ball out of bounds. So Garrett Wilson has to play athletically, catch the ball, barely going inbounds, and like that's all he can do with the run, because he has to perform to catch instead of perform to run. It's so ridiculous. But overall, Rodgers had a good game, but his throwing is still like not accurate at all. So that was like, that makes me wonder if it's on Rodgers or if it's just Adams' route, if he's designed to go out of bounds. I don't know. I feel like if you're a vet, you should be able to make a distinction on what you need to do during the game. Moving on. We had no Breece Hall this week. He was out. I'm hoping out the rest of the year so he can just heal up, because it doesn't fucking matter. We're not doing anything. But Breland Allen and Isaiah Davis played crazy. Isaiah Davis had his second touchdown. It was super fun to watch. They were playing really well. Isaiah Davis was actually playing really well, catching the ball, being in the back. He played really well. I was really happy with him.
Fun fact for Isaiah Davis, for those local listeners. He went to South Dakota State University. So there you go.
SDSU.
What's
that? Pretty cool. They went crazy. Really happy with their performance. Moving on, Olu, our first round pick left guard, and John Simpson, who was predicted to be our worst lineman, has been performing as our best lineman of our veteran crew we brought in. So our left side of our linemen have been playing really well together. Our right side is injured with Moses out, and AVT isn't playing up to his best, but that guy's already an injury machine, so he's probably working through something. Moving on. Carlson, our new kicker, continues to just drill these, dude. Man, where is this guy earlier in the year? This guy he went 4 for 4, scoring, I think it was 14 points. So he was half of our points that game. Really important. He had one, like on the final return, they got it back to the 50 because it was a short kickoff. But I'd take a short kickoff for an above 60% field goal making any day of the week. But that's just me. Because points on the board matter. As Tim will probably stay the most. Points on the board matter from your kicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Accuracy percentage.
Game went really well. We only had 2 punts the entire game, which is actually one of our better performances of the year. So that was really nice. But the defense sold so bad. Lots of missed tackle, and just really overall no performance besides like 1 or 2 dudes. Reddick DJ Reed had 2 defensive pass interferences. Reddick, a popular name this year for the Jets, had played for 20. He had 28 pass rushes. He had 1 pressure and 0 QB hits of those 28 rushes.
He was so worth paying. Like he should. Holding out was so important because he was just so good. That was definitely a great move by him.
He's really showing off those skills. Moving on, we had Quincy Williams, who played 65 snaps, had 2 tackles, and 2 missed tackles.
He normally plays well, right?
Yeah, typically? He normally is one of the better for our linebackers, so I don't know if it was a fluke game, nerves, but very annoying. But moving on, we had Jermaine Sherwood had a game out of his mind. I don't know the exact amount of snaps he played, but he had 18 total tackles, with 13 of them being solo. Played out of his mind. That's
nuts.
He was all over the field. We need to keep this guy if we are going to have to drop Mosley, who's been our team leader for the defense and shot caller in the back. If we have to get rid of him just because he's injury prone or getting old or whatever the reason, we need to keep Sherwood. He's played an amazing role playing backup for him and really keeping the defense straight. Besides this game, which was icky yucky bad. One thing that especially has been happening this year is we really just can't seem to play well on both sides of the ball. It's either our offense is playing ass and the defense is out of their minds, or the offense is playing good and the defense is playing ass. We really can't play well on both sides of the ball, and it's just inconsistent. And it's just like, why that gotta happen? Why can't we be together, working on the same page? Moving on. Let's talk more about Rodgers. News came out, I think it was today, that Rodgers, newsflash, is playing hurt. His official injuries have come out. He has been playing with a grade 2 hamstring sprain, which is a partial tear, if not a practical full tear, a MCL strain, and a high ankle sprain.
Holy shit. How long has he been playing with this?
What? This is the first time I'm hearing this.
3 injuries at once, and he's still playing?
He's still playing.
That is a 40-year-old man out there.
And
goddamn,
it was on ESPN or something, and they were like complimenting him because they're like, the team's really backing him up because they're like, yeah, man, we want to let you play through this year. And I'm just here like, guys, what if we just benched him we're not going to talk hypotheticals no more. It's fine. But he is playing through injuries, and that's probably why he's not accurate, because he's getting pressured. On some plays, he's getting pressured. He's just whipping it, and it's not getting to the targets. There's plays where Garrett Wilson is literally the middle of the field, wide open, and Rodgers throws the ball to the dirt, and Garrett Wilson is just like freaking out. I would be freaking out. I'm freaking out in my chair. I can't imagine how it feels being the guy that's open. It's ridiculous. Moving on to Garrett Wilson, let's talk about who will be around next year. I think Garrett Wilson will be here next year, and he's going to get a big payday. I think he wants to be paid like a top 5 wide receiver in the league. He may not.
Is he though?
I'm gonna say yes, because I've seen him play every snap. But some people say he's too spindly or too light or holds the ball weird when he runs. Those are all stuff that can be like fixed, I feel. But regardless, I think he's going to make generational wealth. I think they're going to offer him a massive payday with a long extension, and he's going to stay. Because when young players see generational wealth of like $80 million, they're going to take it. They're going to take the guaranteed payday.
I have a stat for you. He is number 8 in yards this season, but he's quite close to being
but
in
if
the
you
top
look
five.
at that chart, do you think Jerry Jeudy should be in the top 5?
I'm just going off yards.
I've
He's in the
seen
yard.
the stats, Caleb. You don't need
All right.
you don't need to talk stats to me.
This is for the people.
I
This
know
is
what
for
he is.
For the listeners. I said he was close. He's close to the top 5. He's very close.
He's up there. Is Drake London the 9th? Would you say he's the 9th best receiver in the league? I'd say no. He's top 7 easily.
I don't know, man. He's 10th and Darnell Mooney's 9th.
Oh, of course. Darnell Mooney, legend. Okay, let's move on. Sauce. I'm not sure at all. He's out the rest of the year. Hopefully, the goddamn heel. But I have no idea if this guy's going to be here next year. If we trade him, we'll draft a cornerback. If we keep him, I'm totally happy. He's had an amazing 2 years. This is his one bad year. I don't think that should be how he's judged.
That vintage playback.
Give us vintage sauce, baby. Give me the vintage sauce. So I'm not sure. It's gonna be up to the new GM. Breece Hall. I want him to be here. I 100% want him to stay here. But we have 2 very solid learning rookie backs behind him. Braylon Allen would be starting running back, I'd say, on 2/5 of the league. Like, he'd be starting running back on 2/5 of the teams in the league, easily. So I want him to stay, but, it's going to be up to the new culture that gets brought in, new everything. Rodgers, I'm really hoping gone. But there's equal chance, there is literally equal chance that we have an entirely different QB room with 3 different QBs than we have now, as there is a equally likely chance that we have the exact same QB room as we do right now, I feel. I have no idea. If I want him not to be here. He's a 41-year-old dude who's suffered from injuries for the past 3 years that have affected his play. Don't let him play again, please. Davante Adams. No idea. He should probably not be here because he's really fucking expensive, believe it or not. And he's going to affect the cap space. But, that being said, he is a pretty good receiver. So, I don't know. All these really depend on the new culture that's coming in, and the new GM, new head coach, what they want to do. So, it's gonna be weird. As for head coaches, there's some news. Mike Vrabel, late last week, came out and said that he would be willing to work with the Jets if he gets say in the GM candidate, which is awesome news. Easily my number 2 candidate for me. He gets shit done. He can instill a culture. He's been a head coach, and he knows what he can do. He's going to come in, set up the way he wants, and get shit done, which is what the Jets need right now, because we don't have anybody that's leading. We just have coaches that give pep talks and will deep dive into the film every fucking week. Coming up, we have the Jags. It may not seem like a massive game, but this is a massive game. This is for draft stock. Massive draft stock game. The Jags are 5th.
This actually might be the most important game of the season. Most important game of the season.
If we lose, we hopefully go up a spot or 2 in the draft. So I'm hoping that Mac Jones comes out and plays lights out. He puts on the vintage Pats jersey and he just destroys the Jets. He's like, this is for my own team. Pretty underwhelmed at this point of the season. I'm still watching every game, still keeping up with everything, but it's just like, man, just in the season. JATS. Go Jets. We're gonna find out this week what's gonna happen with the Jags. Rodgers, you're kind of blowing dick. I need you to maybe have this performance at the beginning of the year, I'll open up a time portal for you. Thanks, everybody. That's all I got. We're gonna see what happens next week with the Jags. We'll talk about the draft from there, but could maybe actually bring up some draft spots or draft ideas. But we'll see how we do through the rest of the year. Go Jets. Over to the Ravens.
All right, it's finally our time to shine. So let's get the first thing out of the way. Obviously,
no more exceptions. No exceptions this week.
Yeah, we didn't play football this week. Besides the point, I did get a new haircut. Thank you, everybody. Yes, it does look good. We did not play football this week, so I decided to relax on Sunday instead, and I did not stress. Had a very, very peaceful Sunday. It was beautiful. Anyways, unfortunately,
did you miss him? Did you miss it?
Of course, I missed Pookie. You know, hate to see him go, but I love to watch him leave. Massive news that we recorded a little bit too early for me to talk about was Deontay Johnson suspension, which is kind of cold now, unfortunately, but I'm still going to talk about it anyways. Yeah, this guy's causing some locker room drama, and it's not pretty. He's been suspended for the Giants game because of a refusal to play numerous times when requested during the game against the Eagles.
What?
Yeah.
Like, coach was like, get out there, you're in, and he said, nah?
Yes.
Isn't
after complaining
to be a player
that he didn't get any targets, that he didn't get any playing time, he didn't get any snaps, he refused to enter the game in the match versus the Eagles. Clearly,
Stinky.
He's a dumbass. I understand where he's coming from. On the Panthers, he was wide receiver 1, I believe. He got 57 targets, 30 receptions, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns in their 7 games with Bryce Young as his QB. So,
and the Red Rocket.
The Red Rockets
with Bryce Young as the QB. Do not forget the Red Rocket. This is my segment. Don't bring up. Don't you fucking bring up the Red Rocket in my segment. That's for Dumb or Flub. Sit down and listen. Listen, we got Deontay Johnson for a steal, which doesn't look like a steal anymore. Okay, we haven't got anything out of him, and when he's suspended for what would be an extremely easy game, a game that'd be a lot easier to play him in, we're not fucking going against the Steelers for the division title, for our only shot to win division title. We're not going to want to play him. Hopefully he's not bringing it in the locker room too much. Zay Flowers did say in an interview when asked if he would be welcomed back after the suspension, he said yes. It was a pretty easy answer for him. So it doesn't seem to be that he's an absolute abhorrent on the team's attitude, but clearly, what the fuck, guys? Not a good look. And when we got him, I thought, wow, this is an easy dub. And now we managed to fuck up that easy dub, which is kind of the story of the Ravens sometimes.
Flub trade.
It is not a flub trade yet. But moving on. We are looking at the injury updates. Rashad Bateman's coming back in. He practiced. Kyle Van Noy's coming back in. He practiced. So that'll be nice to have. Our game versus the Giants has a 15.5 point spread. It's going to be some sweat-free football. The problem with that is, put that finger down. The problem with that is actually, it's not just the.
It's a 14.5, not 15.5. Sorry.
Actually. Okay, so now
very large either way.
Very large. The problem with our next 3 games is they are 10 days apart from each other because we have a Christmas Day game. So obviously the Giants I'm not worried about, but when you get to that 10th day and we're playing the Texans, which we're a better team then, but when we're beaten and bruised, it's going to be What?
Same record.
Yeah, but we're a better team than
Look at the division.
them. It's gonna be a lot harder to win if we have like a lot of our standout
Wait,
guys.
That's a good point, Caleb. Though, how many losses does Jameis Winston have over the Texans? 0.
Is this the excuse me, order in the fucking court?
What's
My
going on
God,
right now?
can we get some fucking Adderall in here? I shut the fuck up during the Jet segment. This motherfucker, Jameis Winston, actually, he talked for 20 minutes, 25 minutes about the fucking Jets.
Minutes.
I get 5 minutes by Ravens segment. We've already moved on to Dumb or Flub. Sit the fuck down. Oh my
Not talk
lord.
for 20 minutes.
Time check that. Somebody time check that. Okay, so back to the Ravens. What the fuck was I talking about? It was the back-to-back game. So we have players. It's not that funny, Caleb. Where's my player list here? We got some old fucks. Marlon Humphrey, Derrick Henry, importantly, Kyle Van Noy, Nelson Aguilar. They're kind of old. They've been playing for 8 years. When you play 3 games, very offense heavy, brutal fucking games. It's not easy. Obviously, this is a bye week talk. I probably wouldn't be talking about this if we had a game last week. Because it's always, maybe this. That's kind of why I don't like off-season talk, don't like bye-week talk. But it's something to factor in. Hopefully, the NFL doesn't fuck us with this goddamn schedule. That's the point I've been trying to make here. Is I just don't want to see us walk out there, our third game in 10 days, and then we just kind of look pathetic on defense or whatever, and we can't break through. I think we can overcome it, but it's something. It's on the watch. All right, there's not a lot to talk about this week, so it's on the watch.
Do you have some a short schedule, or what do you mean by 3 games in 10 days?
There's we have a Christmas game. So we have Sunday, which is normal, and then 3 days after Sunday is Christmas. So we have another Christmas game.
Gotcha.
But yeah, besides that, Steelers got the dub. So sad. We're looking at the playoffs positioning right now, and while I'm very confident we're going to get on at least the wild card, obviously I want to win my division, even if it doesn't look super likely right now. I think the odds for that are at 20%, which isn't impossible, but we have to beat the Steelers, which clearly we're not great at, and we also have to win one more game than the Steelers do, so not impossible, but let's be real here. If the most optimal, I won't say optimal, the most likely, the most likely position here we're going to get is the number 5 seed, which I believe
that's the same as the Vikings.
Wow, it is the same.
I believe would put us against the Steelers in the wild card round, which I would hate. I don't
right
want
now.
That.
That's actually not decided. Right, you would face the Texans. Actually, it's 5.
I would love
5
that.
versus 4.
Yeah.
So it'd be Texans most likely.
Honestly,
that's a good draw.
I'm okay with not winning the division if it means we get to play the Texans in the first round. Honestly, but it's a pride thing. You just want your team to win. Yeah, that's it for the Ravens. I don't care too much about. Let's run a billion simulations in our fucking head. Let's see if the Ravens can win this. That's not my football. I'm just that's what's on the stat sheet right now, and I want to win some fucking games. I want to get back out there and I want to win. So I think it's time to kick it off officially to Dub or Flub.
Dub or Flub? Onside Takes, favorite segment. Let's dive in. Onside, Dub or Flub? Josh Allen gives off Star-Lord vibes. I'm going to give it a dub because I wrote that.
Kind of looks like
I'm
it too.
giving it a Flub. What does this mean?
Just a little bit. Like,
whatever.
Little bit of Peter Quill. I'm gonna give this a dub.
Look at me. I'm Josh Allen. I have a rocket of arm. I run over the best athletes in the world. I'm Dane Haley Seinfeld. I'm the king of my city. Fuck Josh Allen.
He's pretty awesome, and so is Star-Lord. So
You know
makes
what the
sense.
most Star-Lord vibes he gives is when Star-Lord fucking lost to Thanos and he threw it away at the end.
When he starts punching
Infinity War.
Thanos?
Yeah.
Why? So, can you explain when Josh Allen is
because
punching someone on the field?
They were this close to beating Thanos, winning the Super Bowl, or beating the Chiefs, beating Thanos, and then
the overtime rules screwed him over.
Yeah, overtime rules screwed him over. Yeah, he just missed out at the very end.
I feel like the Bills and the Ravens are like the same team in that regards, though, right?
Yeah,
like
but
both
the Bills
trying
do
to
more
beat the
often.
Chiefs. Oh, okay, that's fair. But
Dub
take.
Dub or flub? Mahomes has no soul as he sold it for dark magic.
Dub.
Massive fucking dub. This guy does not have. This guy's not real.
I gotta go against the grain here.
It's so. What do you mean against the grain? It's black goddamn magic. There's no way the past 3 games they should have fucking lost, and they're winning by the most obscure bullshit imaginable. And it's every week, every fucking week.
Okay.
Guess what my upset of the week is? Guess what my upset of the week is, guys? This week. Guess what? It's the Chiefs losing.
I had something I want to say on the dark magic. Okay. I don't think this classifies as dark magic, but did you guys see that fucking Bengals blocked punt to get them a first down on a first and what was it? It was like a first and 36, first and 26. You can't call it dark magic
fucked up
because at some point, yeah, you're gonna get a clutch win randomly. Okay, blah blah blah. It's not dark magic.
It's not a clutch win if it happens 3 times in a row. That's just.
I'm not saying 3 times in a row. It's like every week of the season.
Yeah.
Besides the Bills game that they got destroyed in.
I don't think the Chiefs get a clutch win, but I could not believe my eyes when I watched how the Bengals saved that game there. It was. I mean, I can't hate too much because their record's so awful. You kind of got to give them those sometimes. But I'm like, what the? I hated watching that. Anyways,
bad rule. It's a bad rule.
Next up,
dub or flip. Cardinals were overhyped mid-season. Huh? That's who beat them recently. Let's go look.
This is a dub take. Cardinals they've just slid. Everyone was super excited about them. They're like, yes, Cardinals. They might be taking a hold of the NFC West. No, they're not.
You better watch your fucking mouth.
I'm sorry, Murray is just all they've done is beat the Rams, who were bad in week 2. The 49ers, who are bad. Chargers is a good win. Give them that. But Dolphins not good. Bears not good. Jets not good. They have 6 wins over mediocre teams at best, and they've lost to every team that has an over 500 record. So they got overhyped.
2 of their losses were to the Seahawks. So it really fucks up position on the division chart.
Right, but they lost to the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Bills.
I'm not. No,
this is a dub take. This is a dub take.
No,
they got overhyped a little bit.
They
weren't god awful, and so I think people were just happy to support them. But let's be honest,
it's like the definition of Murray. I've been supporting Murray since.
I'll have Murphy's back, but he's mid.
We could support Murphy, but we can be honest about his team.
They weren't overhyped. 2 of their losses are to the Seahawks, which I feel
kind of
frauds.
Overhyped.
I think the Seahawks are so much frauds. Whatever. It's fine.
The Seahawks did lose to the Giants.
It's true.
They didn't or did?
They did.
They lost to the 49ers.
See? We could have this conversation about the Seahawks too. We've given our Dubber Flubs. Let's move on. Because this one Tim's going to love. Dubber Flub. Russell Wilson Super Bowl formula is online.
Mr. Limited. Limited to the first round of playoffs.
I gotta go clean up this diarrhea. Unlimited. Unlimited diarrhea. He says that. That's a real thing. He said that.
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson said that.
That's
Big
insane.
Look up
Diarrhea guy,
unlimited diarrhea.
I don't need
No,
to look
I'm
that
not
up.
looking
I
that
don't
up on
need
my
to know.
search history.
No, we actually don't need to see
Sorry,
that.
Russell Wilson's unlimited diarrhea. There you go. I don't think. I think Flub.
This, hear me out, guys. This is a dub take because Russell Wilson with the Seattle Seahawks was a good quarterback, and we can all agree on that.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm with
the
you.
reason that he
we
won a
didn't watch
Super
it.
Bowl is that he had a mega good defense in the Legion of Boom. And all he did was throw moon balls to his wide receivers to score as many points as they could while the defense just held the other
This
team to
does
like
sound
nothing.
pretty familiar, Tim.
Now, Russell Wilson is on a team with a super good defense, and all he does is throw moon balls for touchdowns or long passes, whatever. It's the formula that he had for a Super Bowl, almost 2 Super Bowls, and he had a good running back, though. Not that the Steelers don't, like, Najee Harris is okay, but they don't have the running attack that he had with the Seahawks. But everything else is kind of aligning to what he had when he won a Super Bowl. So, and they're a great team. They have a shot. Absolutely. So, this is a dub take. The formula is there for a Super Bowl for Russell Wilson again. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's there.
I can agree with that, Tim. Sorry, Tim.
Nah, Flub. Flub because fuck him, that's why.
Give me a little far from your mic, by the way, so you know. Let's move on. Dub or Flub. Packers are frauds and have no good wins.
They have one good win against the Rams.
Nope. I'm here. I've got the stats, all right?
The Packers.
Let me
This
speak.
is a dub.
Let me go.
It's a dub.
Let me go. Okay. The Packers. They have beat the Colts and the Titans. Bad. The Rams, while they were incredibly injured and were playing, that's when the Rams were losing most of their games. The Cardinals, who are frauds as well.
So they were fighting the Cardinals while they were hyped.
Prior to the Cardinals being hyped.
No,
I think.
this was prime Cardinal hype.
Either way, overhyped, doesn't matter. They beat the Texans barely. I would say that's their one like decent win. And then they beat the Jags, Bears, 49ers, Dolphins. All not great teams. They have one decent win on the entire season, and they've lost to the Eagles, Vikings, Lions. They haven't beat a good team. They beat one decent team. I think they're frauds. They haven't been proven yet. They haven't proven that they can beat someone.
Dub.
That's
especially if they don't beat the Vikings, then
yeah. I mean,
it's official. Like you can beat the Saints, the Seahawks, the Bears. I don't care. If you don't beat the Vikings, I don't care what their record is. They're frauds.
Yeah, it's not. They could prove it wrong by beating the Vikings.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter till playoffs. If we're gonna use your argument of the Vikings, nothing matters till playoffs.
Oh well, we're talking about the Packers, not the Vikings. So, dub take.
That's a
This
great
is
argument.
goddamn
Fraud.
baloney.
Dub.
Frauds.
I'm on Caleb's side.
Frauds.
Wonderful. Moving on. Dub or Flub. The battle for number 1 draft pick is closer than the playoff battle.
With the playoff battle for what specifically?
Just in general,
To get into playoffs.
the playoffs
To get
are basically like 3 good teams and 4 decent teams and 2 teams that are on the outside looking in, but it's not very close. Where when you go look at Tankathon, like we talked about earlier, we got
Jarvis, pull up Tankathon.
we got 8 teams in just a battle to get this number 1 spot.
Okay, you know what? That is kind of fair.
It's insane. You got 8 teams that are playing every week, praying that they lose. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to give it a dub. I don't want to elaborate further.
It's a dub.
Dub, sure.
Just pay attention to that Tankathon, guys. It's a fun stat if you're one of those people on those teams, or if you're a fan of those teams.
Dub or flub, Joe Burrow deserves a shot at MVP.
I'm going to come with a flub, and here's my argument. The thing about MVP is that nobody wants to admit it, but it's kind of a vibe award. It's just given to the person with the most MVP vibe. I mean, Lamar won it last year. I'll be the first to admit he didn't have the most incredible stats in the entire league. Josh Allen's looking number 1 to win it this year. He doesn't have the most incredible stats in the entire league right now. It's kind of a vibe
Josh
award.
Allen had more better stats than Lamar Jackson last year.
Kaiden, that's what I just said.
I know. It's a vibe thing.
Yes, but I don't like it when you say it. I only like it when I say it. Only I get to admit Lamar Jackson didn't have the better stats last year. But yeah, it goes to one of the best players on one of the best teams, and Joe Burrow does not have an MVP vibe this year as well as he plays.
I think that the way this dub or flub is stated, it deserves a shot at MVP. And when you are the quarterback in the league that has the most passing yards, 3,706, and the next closest is Lamar with 3,290. That's 400-yard difference. That's like a game worth. And he has the most touchdown passes, 33, to Lamar's 29. He has, in the 2 quarterback stats, he's the leader in the league in both. I mean, I think technically he should deserve a shot. I'm not saying he should be the MVP, but I mean, he's having an insane year. Why does the MVP have to be the team that's winning? That's so lame. It is what it is. I agree with you guys. It's the vibes of the people that are winning. The winning team's quarterback happens to just the conference champion or the conference winner's quarterback tends to get it. But I don't know. I think Joe Burrow.
No, I agree.
I think he deserves a shot. That's a dub take.
I would say he deserves a shot for sure. Stats are off the charts. Something out of his mind. If he was winning, he would be forerunner for MVP. So I don't know.
The only thing is Josh Allen, he's got the rushing in there as well, which Joe Burrow doesn't have.
Look at me, I'm Josh Allen. I have a rocket for an arm. I run my city. Fuck you, Josh Allen. Dub or flub? Jameis Winston stays with the Browns after this year. Flub. Jameis Winston to the Jets.
Whoa,
that would be crazy.
Whoa, there's no way you want that.
Jameis Winston to backup next year. It's clear as day. No shot he starts.
Hear me out.
But you think he stays on? You think he stays on the Browns, Tim?
No.
Does he have a 1-year contract?
If his contract's up, I don't think
idea.
he stays.
We gotta see. Does he have a 1-year contract? He's probably got a 1 year. It's probably 1 year. I think that the Browns should keep him. I'm gonna say it's a dub take because
I think it's a dub take.
He's keeping the Browns relevant, as in the fans like watching, and no matter what, yeah. You have to put fans in the seats to make money, and he is doing that more than Deshaun Watson, I would say. So keep him there. Why not?
I agree. Dub. Or flip. Colts take the final playoff spot from the Broncos. Caleb has some stats to back this up. Let's give it to him.
I'm ready. 4 weeks left. 4 games left in the season. We're getting down to the last quarter, okay? The Colts, they are 6-7, and they're 2 games behind the Broncos. So that's That's a pretty good lead with only 4 games left. However, the Colts play the Broncos this weekend. Colts win that game. Now they're down 1 game. Then the Colts play the Titans, the Giants, and the Jags. It's the 3 shitters of the NFC or the AFC South. So I think that they can handle winning those games. The Colts could go 4-0. They could win all 4 games, and it's honestly probably a 70% chance they win all 4 games. Throwing that out there, super random number. But moving on to the Broncos, who do have the 2-game lead. So if they win this game against the Colts, they pretty much secure their playoff spot, in my opinion. But if they lose, they have to play the Chargers, the Bengals, the Chiefs. 3 good teams. Chargers are a good team. Bengals are a hard team to beat, even if they have a bad record. And obviously the Chiefs are a hard team to beat, no matter what. So the Broncos could be going 0-4, and the Colts could be going 4-0, potentially. This is a very big potential, okay? A lot of hypotheticals, but we're in the double flub, so we got to be in that area. I think the Colts have a better chance of winning more games than the Broncos. So I'm going dub take. Colts take the Broncos spot.
All right, you convinced me, sure.
That's crazy.
Go.
All this.
I like your gumption.
All this fucking Bo Lever talk. All of it. Just to do this.
I'm sorry. I
Despicable.
like Bo. I like him.
Despicable.
I like him, but you just gotta look at the schedule. It's so different. It's
Dude,
the
there's
hardest
no
way
and
the easiest remaining.
Richardson dices up the Denver defense. I'm sorry to say it. It's
He'll run
not
through
happening.
He'll run through them.
He's gonna get his legs snapped if he runs through these guys.
Hey, like I said, this game is super important in this take, but the 3 games after is what I'm looking at. Okay, it all depends. Just saying.
For sure. No, that's valid. I don't think that'll happen, though. I think it's a flop. Dumber flop. Cowboys fail a rebuild next year.
Dub. I don't think you can build a successful rebuild year on Dak Prescott and the
Massive deal.
He's massive deal.
No running back.
I no running back.
That's why Dak Prescott
Coach that fucking
is
sucks.
going
General
to the
manager
Jets.
that's incompetent. Nobody likes. They're going to fail a rebuild next year.
Absolutely. This is a dub take. The Cowboys' future looks very grim.
Yep.
There's been some talks of a lot of trades happening with including Dak Prescott, moving him around the league and trying to get a upper round draft pick. So it's going to be interesting.
Genuinely, would Cowboys have a better chance at rebuild if they sent off Dak and his hundreds of billions of dollars dead cap space?
Yep. And that's why he's going to come to the Jets. And
That's
not awful.
That'd be a move up for the Jets.
Would be.
Yeah, here we go. On to the next ever flub.
Here we go.
I think I agree though. I think if they keep Dak, it'll be a fail. Dub or flub. Jamar Chase is on the Bengals next year. This is the last year of his contract. Do we think he's gonna stay?
I think he's going to go where he gets paid, and I don't think the Bengals are going to pay. Flub.
Here's the deal. Joe Burrow got paid a freaking shit ton of money. But wouldn't it just be absolutely batshit insane to let the second or best wide receiver in the league leave your team because you didn't want to pay him money too? Like, you don't pay your quarterback and then not have a wide receiver for him to trust, that he literally went to school with. Been like, it's a perfect duo. Besides, maybe if Jefferson was there instead of Chase, he'd probably be better than Chase. But, I just
That's
think
crazy. The glaze don't stop him. It's universal glaze.
Glaze never stops.
It's just stretched over all 3 parts of the podcast. All 3 segments have talked about Justin Jefferson today. This is insane.
They have to resign him. It makes no sense to not resign him, no matter the cost. Don't care.
Yeah, but does Jamar Chase want to be there?
I guarantee you he wants to play for a. Joe Burrow is at least top 3 quarterback in the league. Why would you not want to play for a good quarterback? Unless he goes to the Chiefs, and that's just cursed. That's just cursed.
I would
Oh no.
I would say things I'm not comfortable saying online if he went to the Chiefs.
I think I was gonna say it's a flub that he will be on it, but I agree. I think it'll be a dub. I think he'll be there.
Dub.
Moving on. Dub or flub. Eagles locker room is blowing up. Caleb had some insight into this dub or flub.
I have the inside scoop, but not really. It's just what has been pretty public knowledge. But after the game against the Panthers, talk about the Panthers for a second. They almost beat the Eagles now. Like, they're number 1 team in almost beating good teams, Panthers. I mean, great job, Panthers.
No, I really think that's just part of the Eagles is narrowly losing to bad teams because they lost to the Jets last year with the GOAT, Zach Wilson.
They honestly should have lost that game, but we'll talk about that later. But AJ Brown, in his interview after the game, they asked what's wrong with the offense because the offense wasn't amazing. The passing game wasn't amazing, and he literally just said, "Passing is the issue." Well, who does the passing? Like, he basically just said Jalen Hurts is the issue. Imagine calling like, you don't call your quarterback out in an interview. Like,
yeah,
this is why the reporters ask questions, because they're just hoping.
Yes.
One of the people on the team is just like
Snaps.
super mad, and they just snap and say it, something crazy. And then this is even crazier.
In his defense,
different Eagles player in a different interview told the media that AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts like had an argument and were having issues. How does that leave the locker room? What? And then like instantly afterwards, he's like, "Shit, I just say that." He apologized like not like after the interview, like that fast. He's like, I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. But like, Eagles are 11-2, and we're having locker room drama. What are we doing? I mean, I don't like the Eagles. I don't even want them to win. But like, that's just insane.
Two things.
The locker room's blowing up. Duh.
It's Philly. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is Jalen Hurts is not in a very emotional guy. He's kind of just out there or on the bench, just sitting there, idle poker face. That's him half the time. So I'm sure there's issues in that with him appearing like he doesn't fucking care half the time. So I know the Eagles fans don't like it.
They're a good team. I mean, Nick Sirianni, just not a leader of men. Just letting his locker room blow up publicly.
I would just love to watch
fucking fist-fighting fans, dude.
Explode in the playoffs.
I'm gonna give it a dub. It's minorly blowing up. Last, Tim, dub or flub? Tim, dub or flub? On the Eagles?
Oh, dub.
Dub. Our final, dub or flub. Thursday night football games have been crazy this year.
Easy
dub.
dub.
I think some of the most memorable games have been Thursday night games. Which normally doesn't happen. It's been pretty nice.
That Browns game of the year for them was a snow game on Thursday, right?
It was, and then the
good ass rape
Thursday games. The Atlanta Bucks game was on a Thursday.
That one's good.
Bengals Ravens.
Yep. The Lions Packers.
Pittsburgh Browns. The Packers Lions, like you said. You might have just said that.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Commanders Eagles. It's been banging.
Think about the first Thursday night. Baltimore, Kansas City.
Oh, it's true. I forgot that was Thursday night game.
We all watched that together in person.
They were cooking.
Watch an exception.
Yeah, exception with the toes the line.
They fucking cursed him. They cursed him to have 1 inch longer toes, Tim. I'm so sorry for you. It was from birth.
They should have just cut him off.
Dub take.
Dub take. Awesome games. Moving on, we enter our final segment with the league thoughts with who will win, upset of the week, game of the week, and of course, the mid-off of the week. We'll jump right into this with the Rams at the 49ers.
I mean, just look at last week. The Rams just beat the Bills, who are a very good team, and the Niners whooped on the Bears, who are a very not good team. I'm going with the team top. Beat a good team. Rams. Puka looks unstoppable.
49ers are barely a factor. They're going to get stomped, no question. It's the Rams.
I agree. Rams have been hot. Especially after beating the Bills. They're going to go crazy.
The Rams are 7. I think the stat was 7-2 when Puka and Cup play. They're just so hard to stop together with Stafford's throwing. It's insane.
Definitely. 100. Okay. We have Commanders at Saints. We all know. It's going to be Commanders, right? Right, we all know that.
Did you see the Saints game? The clip of Darren Rizzi. That's his name. The interim head coach for the Saints. The Rizmaster. Absolutely screaming and just motherfucking his punter.
I did not. I can't
his
say
punter, I don't even know what his punter did, but he literally screamed at his punter in his face for like 30 seconds straight. And then like another teammate came over and like pulled Rizzi away from him, and then he like went back at him again to, I don't know. And the punter just stood there like nodding his head like, yes sir. Like punter had a great response, but it was I've never seen a punter yell that so hard in my life. He's a real football guy, I guess.
It was the punter yelling?
No, the coach was yelling at the punter.
Okay. That's crazy.
But either way, the Commanders should beat the crappy Saints. Derek Carr sprained his non-throwing hand, his left hand. So like his like third injury of the season, and I think he'll be out maybe for the rest of the season. Saints are just dead. It's awful season for them.
R.I.P. Rest in peace. That's what that stands for.
Weren't they like 2-0? Fans were high on their 2-0.
Hype team in
Wait,
the league.
have they won a game since then? Have they?
Yes.
Think maybe one game.
Yeah, they won one game, I believe.
They have won 3 more games. They are 5-8.
Oh shit! They won too many games.
Okay. Moving on. We have my upset of the week. Chiefs at Browns. Jameis Winston Masterclass is going to come out. I've been saying it for 3 weeks now that the Chiefs are going to lose. Jameis Winston will kill the Chiefs. He will personally march down the field and rip their defense in half. I promise you. Put all of your money on the Browns.
Your personal guarantee?
I
gotta
go
also bet on the Browns?
Jameis Winston doesn't have that story.
Yeah, not yet.
What?
That's because he's going to get it this week.
But what if Jameis Winston beat the Steelers, Ravens, and the Chiefs in the same season? Like, that's insane. If the Browns have like 4 wins and 3 are against the top teams.
He is a record-setting QB. Like,
yeah,
we've already
talked
proven
about it
it
last week.
He's not that guy.
Jerry Judy's like going nuts too.
We're gonna fucking see
like,
him.
It's been good.
You guys were dogging up that Jerry Judy trade for Alan Lazard. I would have given. I guess Joe Douglas was cooking with Jerry Judy, dude.
No, that would have been a great. No, I meant that when I said that was a great trade for the Jets. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the Browns. I'm with you. I'm with you here. We want the Chiefs to lose. Come on.
Yes. Speaking of upsets, let's fill you in on our upset scoring. Last week, we had 3 close games. We had the Browns beating the Steelers, which was mine. Browns unfortunately lost. The Bears beating the Niners, which was Caleb's. The Bears also lost. But then the Rams beat the Bills by 2 points with Tim's upset of the week, projecting Tim forward to 3.5, being the leader, trailing with me by 2.5 and Caleb with 2.
Damn.
Still at the bottom.
Pick of the year with Tim there.
So you just gamble whatever I say. It's impossible to lose money.
Tim threw that out of his ass. He didn't have a pick last week. He was just like, "Oh, the Rams, Bills."
I threw it out of my
Fuck it.
ass and onto the scoreboard. Scoreboard check, which you just did.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay. Next up, we got the Bengals at the Titans. Fun fact: this past weekend, Joe Burrow's house was robbed during the game.
Fun? Is that a fun fact?
That's a fun fact for the fans of Onside Takes.
This is actually a fun fact. Joe Burrow bought a Batmobile.
Oh, he did.
He was talking to Chase, and he's like, "Did I tell you I bought the Batmobile?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, he's like, "Do you own it? Or do you have it yet?" He's like, "Nah, it's being made. It'll be here in like 3 months."
Insane. We saw the Titans lose to the Jaguars last week. There's no way they can beat the Bengals.
Those rubbers should have stolen that fucking outfit that Joe Burrow wore to the Monday night game. It was fucking
the
atrocious.
arcade carpet.
The arcade carpet outfit from head to toe. Fucking dress shoes ass. Looked terrible. I can't lie. He's got good hair, but what the fuck was that outfit?
I need to look this up.
All right, next game.
Yeah, just look it up, Caleb. We'll keep going. Up next, we got the Dolphins at Texans. Give me the Dolphins.
I was about to say I could see the Dolphins winning this.
Yeah, you guys are right. That outfit is scary. But yeah, Texans. They're going downhill.
They've not been hot. The Dolphins are wanting to be hot.
They are.
They want to be hot, so they're gonna play. They're gonna frickin' play. Fuck the Fins.
It feels like the Texans are like on a slow, like we've talked about, just a slow death, and their urgency to win isn't as high because they kind of have an okay record. Where the Dolphins are like, it's do or die.
Yep. Definitely. But the Dolphins, I don't know if you guys have seen this stat. This is a interesting stat. The death of the Dolphin deep ball this year compared to last year, it's completely flipped for throws that Tua has made, where deep balls versus under 10 yards for passing. It's been completely flipped. So it's like a near 80% for under 10 yards compared to last year where it was near 60% were deep balls. So it's really interesting. I'm not sure why they did that.
Do you think they're trying to get the ball out quicker so he doesn't get hit?
It could be that. Definitely could be that.
Not as long of plays.
Then again, he has been carrying the ball and running most of the time he's been hit. But
that's fair.
Interesting fact. Moving on, we have the Ravens at Giants. Caleb nearly took this game as his upset of the week.
He wanted 2 points for it.
Hear me out, listeners. All right, 14.5 point spread. That's like triple what we would normally even choose. So I was being, gracious and saying instead of 3 points, if I take that pick, like it should count for 2 points. And my fellow host did not agree.
And then I said I took the Panthers to beat the Chiefs, and we didn't talk about any extra points.
And that's on you for not suggesting it. Okay. So I suggested that. I got turned down, so I chose not to take the worst option possible of the season, maybe? I don't know. I mean, the likelihood is so little that I thought it was a fair ask, but steered away from this one. Steered away.
Jets at Jags is next up. Caleb has elected this game as his mid-off of the week. Tim, before the podcast, drop some encouraging words to the Jets. Tim, drop them on the podcast.
I was saying, this is crazy to me because sure, I don't have a lot of faith in the Jets to lose, but by God, they look good losing. I don't have a lot of faith for them to win. By God, they look good losing. It's not a mid-game to watch the Jets lose. It's still damn entertaining. When I think of mid-game to watch, I think of the Saints. I think of the fucking Colts. I think of the Patriots. All right. Panthers, Giants. And, you could name, you can literally name 10 mid teams this year. But are the Jets bad? Yes, but they're not. They're not mid.
Yeah,
In the nicest possible way.
So here's the thing. Yeah, maybe you're right on the Jets aspect of them. Like, they lose, but they do it in, fun and destructive ways to their fans. But the Jaguar, like, when I see the Jags in a game, I'm instantly like, no, I don't want to watch that. Now, tell me that Trevor Lawrence is hurt, so it's Jags plus Mac Jones. That's like
Mac
a
Jones
double
is
negative.
Awful.
That's a double negative. I don't want
legend.
to watch this game. Now, on top of that, they're 3-10. The Jets are 3-10. They're both shitty teams. So you know what? It's the mid-off of the week because they're both shitty and the Jags are in there. I don't care if the Jets are in there. It's going to be a shitty game because the Jags exist in the game. Like, that's my thought. So yeah, mid-off of the week. Kaiden, take the week off. Don't watch.
Moving on, we jump right into Tim and I's
wait.
mid-off of the week.
The Jets are going to win. I'm throwing that out there.
Wow.
The Jets are going to win.
I think the Jets are going to win this one.
They have to lose.
Unfortunately.
They're going to win the one that they want to lose.
We're going to lose this one and then win against the Bills. I'm calling it now, dude. It's going to be...
That'd be a fun win, though. You'd enjoy that one.
I would enjoy sticking it. Ooh, I'm Josh Allen. I have a rocket of an arm. Moving on. Right into Tim and I's mid-off of the week. We have the Cowboys at Panthers. Panthers easily clear. Micah Parsons, he's not even going to touch Breece Hall. Breece Hall's going to stiff arm him and just shove him to the ground every play.
Yeah.
Bryce Young?
Breece.
Oh, wait, what?
Bryce Young. Bryce Young, sorry. Sorry.
Talking about the Panthers.
My bad.
I believe that they can win.
But this will be the mid-off
comeback
because the Cowboys have not been playing good, and the Panthers
are also playing with Cooper Rush. Like, I mean, what can you expect from them? Bryce Young is awesome now, I guess. So he threw a touchdown pass to Xavier Legette, and if that motherfucker catches it, they beat the Eagles. But instead, he dropped it, and they lose. He had a game-winning drive that should have been, but it wasn't because his receiver sucked. So Panthers moment. They wanted to lose anyways, but Panthers moment.
For real.
They win.
Moving on. We have an interesting game with the Bucks at the Chargers. Both teams fighting. I guess Bucks are not fighting because they're top of their division, but Chargers are most definitely fighting.
They're fighting though. They got to hold off the Falcons.
They do need to hold off the Falcons.
Taking it back, and like both these teams, every win is so important. The Chargers are not in the playoffs. They're in the same situation as the Ravens and the Broncos. They're all 8-5, but if they have a bad 4-game stretch, the Colts or the Dolphins could sneak in there and snag that spot.
True.
Big Bucks fan right here. Baker Mayfield for the dub this week.
I'm going to give it to the Chargers. Sorry.
I got Jim. I think he's got this. Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, Tim. How about that?
Harbaugh.
Moving on. We have the Colts at the Broncos with Tim's upset of the week.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Colts beating the Broncos. As Caleb said, most important game for the Colts. So that
might be the game of the week.
They might be playing.
It's in the running. Important game.
It's number 7 in game of the week tier list.
However, I may have made this whole point and case for the Colts.
No shot, dude. You can't go back now. You can't go back now. You're such a fake believer, dude.
Bo Nix and their defense.
Tim, call this guy out. This is fraudulent.
You can't pay me to care about the Broncos and the Colts. They're like a weak spot. It's like the most boring teams in the NFL.
Okay.
They could still lose their playoff spots.
I almost
to the
fell
Colts.
asleep picking this as the upset of the week.
Moving on, we have the Pats at the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. I'm sticking with Murray. Pats.
Yeah,
stay losing.
I think the Cardinals have proven that they know how to beat bad teams.
Wait,
and can't beat
I
anyone
need the
good.
Pats to win, so they move up in the draft. It's
You
genius.
should be. That is pretty genius. But I'm still going with the Cardinals.
But go Murray. Yep.
Murphy.
Big Murphy.
Well, he didn't play very good last week, so
don't worry about that.
Plays better.
Does Sam Darnold play perfect every week? Shut the fuck up.
He did last week.
Shut up. Let's go back to his seeing ghosts. Moving on, we have Tim and I's game of the week with Bills at Lions. Give me the Lions. Fuck Josh Allen.
Give me the Lions.
Oh man.
Do you need me to say it again? You need me to say it again?
Wait.
Ooh, look at me. I'm Josh Allen. Fuck Josh Allen, Frog.
Come on. They're coming back with the revenge game. They lose last week to the Rams. Really, really exciting game. Josh Allen, they need to beat the Lions. They need to. They have to.
They're not. They're
Literally,
not beating the
this is
Lions.
just a personal. I need it. Okay,
No.
I need it. I need them to beat the
Fuck
Lions.
the Vikings winning the division.
The last chance. Okay.
The Lions are coming out on top.
Josh Allen, I need you, please.
But you better quit all this talk before I bring up the Vikings' schedule difficulty.
Also, little Lions tidbit. Kirby Joseph, that's the guy that's been injuring players. Tight ends specifically, taking out their legs low, blowing out their ACLs.
Is that right?
Yeah. Last year he blew out the Rams tight end ACL, and then the next week he blew out TJ Hawkinson's ACL. And this week again,
maybe their quarterbacks need to protect their players better.
They had the
Seems
ball.
Seems like
a
skill issue to me.
I mean, shoulder pad, helmet to the knee is insane to me. But he tried to do it to Tucker Kraft this week with the Packers, and he jumped to the side and evaded his season-ending injury. So, great job, Tucker Kraft. Screw Kirby Joseph.
Seems like Tucker Kraft knows how to protect himself, unlike those other two.
He knows he's a dirty player, so he understood.
Yeah.
Other ones didn't know yet.
That is a little scummy, I agree. Not to play in the bit too much. Moving on, we have Caleb's game of the week and upset of the week with the Steelers at the
Big
Eagles. Game. I think solely Philly wins because it's at Philly. That's what I think.
The fans just they're so egregious, loud, and the worst
Philly
beings known
win.
to man.
I think if it was at if it was at Pittsburgh, I'd take the Steelers. It's the
That's
Battle
fair.
of Pennsylvania.
The only reason it's
they
5
don't like
point
each
spread
other
because
they don't like each other.
Oh,
it's the opposite
exactly.
Pennsylvania teams.
It's 5 point spread because of it being at a home game for the Eagles. And that's why I was able to take this upset of the week, even though it's two great teams that are pretty much, I'd say, dead even. It's going to come down to if the Steelers can stop Saquon Barkley. Can they stop the run?
Saquon Barkley MVP, baby.
If they can stop the run, Steelers can win this game. And that's what I'm going to bank on. So, TJ Watt's coming. Steelers win. Game of the week, exciting.
Moving on. We have the Packers at Seahawks. Packers will win this game and expose the Seahawks. Period.
Packers will lose this game and be exposed for being frauds.
Packers win this game and they are schedule merchants.
I love all these takes. Beautiful takes. Moving on, we have the Bears at the Vikings. Give me the
Cold outdoor
Bears.
game, but the Vikings are going to win this.
I'm excited to see how the Bears fuck it up.
That's pretty.
I think the
That's a pretty
Vikings
good
easy
take.
dub. I'm just excited to see how the Bears lose.
It is actually at the Vikings field. You will.
Shit,
It
really?
is in. It is
What? I
in.
thought we just had a Vikings game. The Falcons was at US Bank. They have 2 home
It's
games
at-
in a
I'm
row.
telling you.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong Bears game. I was looking at the previous game. That's my bad. Yeah, it's at home. Oh, that's even better. Easier win. Shit.
Yeah, probably
I'm not even
Vikings.
worried at all.
That bank's gonna be loud.
I'm not worried at all.
Moving on. Final game of the week. We have the Falcons at the Raiders. Give me the Falcons. Them Raiders are tanking like a mofo. They need a quarterback.
True.
I think the Raiders have lost. How many games in a row have they lost?
9 games in a row. 9 games.
Yeah, they're fucking taking it, that's for sure. Kirk Cousins, I mean, he's not playing well, and they're not really playing great. But this is like,
Yeah, but the
if
Raiders
they lose
are
this
down
game,
the
they
quarterback.
deserve to not be in the playoffs.
Raiders
That's
lost O'Connell
That's what I was
as well.
saying. Oh, that's true. Yeah,
They're
they
super
were already
cooked.
losing every game. With now they have to play like the quadruple string or the fourth string fucking QB Falcons.
Yippee! Okay. That will conclude this week's Onside Takes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you
Thank you.
enjoyed. And as always, stay awesome.
Adios.
Peace out.